We have CPM leader Anand with us. How do you respond to this? This has been a demand of the CPM for long now to scrap the sedition charges completely. The centre now getting a step closer to that.
We welcome it. It is the beginning of the end of this barbaric law on our statute book. And our civil right is the highest need of the people under the Constitution. And this act, this clause always serves that human rights and the civil rights. So because of that, Supreme Court has announced a very, very significant direction, and we hope that it will be beginning of the end of this barbaric act on our statute book.
Okay, all right. This was a little unexpected. Would you credit the BJP government now of taking this on? Because, the centre all this while had said that the sedition laws are required in the country, but now in a complete review of it, asking for reconsideration of the law completely.
How you can certify a criminal who committed the crime at the face of pressure? How can you praise? Because we have seen this man 1 year attack the farmers and tried to harry the black and ultimately withdraw. What is the praise? If the government is anti-people's rights, there is no question of praising.
Okay, but now the centre has brought in, so now you're expecting sedition to go completely. You welcome it. Many thanks, Mr. Anand for joining us on the broadcast with your thoughts on that. This has been a demand from the left as well to scrap the sedition law. Now the court giving centre time to reconsider. We have Mr. Yogendra Yadav also on the phone line with us. Many thanks for joining us. Mr. Yogendra Yadav, is this a move of the centre that you're welcoming, reconsideration of the sedition law?
More than the centre's move, I think the court's move of putting a hold on that till there is a revision is to be welcomed. It is to be welcomed because, frankly, something like the sedition law has no business to be in an independent country. This is a colonial law meant for the British to punish our freedom movement leaders. And after independence, there was actually no need for this law. We have sufficient laws and provisions to punish people for things that go against country's security, that violate any of our other concerns. This law is meant only and only for misuse. I can't possibly think of a sensible use that this law can be put to, for which we have no other law. So while it has been stayed, I really do hope that the centre reconsiders it the way they have promised, or the court finally strikes it down.
Okay, because in the second affidavit, the centre had also said that the Prime Minister is of the belief that this is not in line with India's civil liberties. So this has been the stand of the centre in the Supreme Court.
I must say I was very pleasantly surprised to hear it from the Prime Minister. I have, of course, no reason to disbelieve him, especially when he gives that in an affidavit to the Supreme Court. But as you would know, this is somewhat contrary to what his government has been doing again and again and again. So if he has had second thoughts about it, I think it should always be welcomed. If the Prime Minister of this country has some respect for human rights, I think it is a very welcome change. I would compliment him.
Okay, all right. Mr. Yogendra Yadav, thank you for joining us on the broadcast. So this was the second affidavit that had been filed. Now the court giving the centre time to reconsider. This was after the centre said that we are going to review it. Mr. Manish Tiwari also on the phone line with us. Mr. Manish Tiwari, do you welcome this decision or the stance that the centre has taken in the Supreme Court of reviewing sedition law?
Well, I think what I need to welcome is the Supreme Court staying the sedition law and actually giving the government a definitive timeline that by the 17th of May, you review the law and come up with your recommendations. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and hear the matter and decide it one way or the other. So therefore, I think finally the time is coming when this prince of the political sections of the Indian Penal Code, as Mahatma Gandhi described it, will finally be read down from the criminal statute.
Okay, so you want a complete scrapping of the sedition law. Would you say that is the intent of the centre? Because in the second affidavit, it said that the Prime Minister thinks that this is not in line with the civil liberties of the country.
Well, I don't think that this government has any commitment to civil liberties at all, notwithstanding whatever Times Now might think. But be that as it may.
Would you welcome it if there is a change in stance? And this is what the affidavit says. It's not our view. It's the affidavit that the centre has filed in the Supreme Court.
The affidavit was just an attempt to try and preempt the Supreme Court from having a substantive or taking a substantive view in this matter. And the court seems to have seen through that gambit when they have stayed the law and they have prescribed a deadline that by 17th of May come back with your recommendations. Otherwise, the court will go ahead and adjudicate on the petitions which are pending before it. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. Just a reminder to you as well that the Maharashtra government, the Congress is also in alliance there, has booked a couple on sedition charges only because they said that they will be chanting Hanuman Chalisa outside the Chief Minister's residence. All right. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Manish Tiwari. That was his response, saying sedition law should be scrapped. But the Maharashtra government, of course, has slapped the sedition charges against the Rana couple for saying that they will be chanting Hanuman Chalisa. But this is what we're tracking currently. The Supreme Court now asking the centre to come up with a review on the case. And till then, no new cases would be filed on that. This